Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron here. I hope you're having a great day in Jesus. We're going to look at a couple Bibles that were printed by Kriegel Publications, and so I kind of lump them in with independently done Bibles, even though Kriegel is a major publisher there in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But both these Bibles would have been out of print, probably, except for Kriegel. One is the Thomas Newberry Reference Bible, and the other is the E.W. Bullinger Companion Bible. And they both have various things that people enjoy about them. I think the Newberry, if I remember correctly, the Sword of the Lord used to publish, advertise, not publish, the Newberry. So it had something in there that independent Baptists really liked. I know Pentecostals really like it as well. So let's see what the Newberry has in here. So as we get into here, you have the divine titles. This is how kind of the Bible starts after a little explanatory place. And the Newberry, it's everywhere now. Like, a lot of people are carrying it, and so it kind of was rescued, I think, from relative obscurity. And I'm almost sure he taught the gap theory. A lot of these, like Dake, Schofield, taught the gap theory. I think Hoffman's Bible teaches the gap theory, the Common Man's Reference Bible. So these two particular Bibles by Kriegel are just fascinating. We hated when Kriegel sold their 300,000 volume used bookstore. It was probably the largest used Christian bookstore in North America, possibly the world. 300,000 volumes. They sold it overseas for $250,000. Yes, that equals out less than $1 a book. My friend, they offered it to Brother Paul Mooney, and he did not pull the trigger. He probably should have. So here's what, and you can tell I've been doing a lot of reading in the Companion Bible. At one time, this was like my daily reading Bible, was the Companion Bible, because I appreciated so much of the information that E.W. Bullinger had. A lot of things I felt had fallen out of common, currency that was pretty popular in the early parts of the 20th century. Newberry, getting back to Newberry, I think he was Plymouth Brethren. And I think this Bible came out maybe 1890. I think the New Testament may have come out in 1875 or something like that. I wonder if it says anywhere in here. Yeah, Thomas Newberry. Yeah, 1890. Originally published as the Englishman's Hebrew Bible, Samuel Baxter and Sons. For the Old Testament and the English Greek New Testament, Hodder and Stott in 1893 for the New Testament. Combined edition, 1893 is the Newberry Bible Portable Edition. So it's arranged in paragraphs with signs pointing out the perfection, beauty, and treasures of the Hebrew and Greek text by Thomas Newberry. List of kings, all kind of stuff like this. So side column references. Now, I will tell you, I've got something in my heart for paragraph Bibles. I just do. I like paragraph Bibles. So that's the Newberry. So I've got my self notes in here. God allowed Adam to name after he named Adam. And then notes that I would need a magnifying glass to read. Verse 8, slew Abel instead of the sin offering of verse 7. Okay. So, and I wanted to get back to the front here of this as well. textual criticism and list of manuscripts quoted, Greek synonyms and their distinctions, emphatic pronouns, Hebrew articles, divine titles, kings of Babylon and Persia. And let's get to the end of this. So you get to the end. Okay, introduction to the English-Greek New Testament. And we'll just show you what this looks like, because it is voluminous. You know, a lot of times there's a lot of stuff between Malachi and Matthew in these Bibles. And this one especially. It's just a good-sized Bible. Now, we'll tell you, I haven't used the Newberry Reference Bible a lot. I just, I've only got one life to live. And so most of my life is ministry and Bible reading and things such as this and prayer. And, but I do like some of the things contained in here. Our goal, if the Lord be our help, is just to help people with every study Bible that's ever been done. We just always want to check ourselves, make sure that's still the will of God. We want to be led of the Spirit. That's just kind of what we do. Among many other things, a lot of Bible teachings, the participles, so, and it just keeps going and going in this. And so, it doesn't really have introductions or anything like that, critical various readings. I'll let you see what the New Testament looks like. And then we'll get into what's in the back. What is in the back? Because again, some Bibles, everything's in the back. That's what you want, is the back of the Bible. It's just got so much stuff in the back. Like 2 John, I appreciate again the paragraph. I really like that. So aids to Bible study, concordance, map of Bible lands. And so it's got original languages, aids to Bible study, the Matthew's Bible, lifestyle of the Jews, washing hands and feet, Jewish dress, just Jewish manners and customs. So a lot of stuff back here in the back. While you're looking at that, I'm going to be flipping to the middle of the Ethelbert Bullinger Bible. He wrote a lot of books too. And some things like the Mazzaroth, the Gospel in the Stars, is considered really heterodox today, but back in the day it was just mainstream evangelical theology. So it really doesn't have a lot in the middle. We'll get to that in just a few moments. So the couch, the chamber, Jewish lifestyle, phylacteries, sandals, anklets, armlets, hem of the garment. And that's just according to Numbers 15, 38 and 39, the hem of the garment was to be so wrought as to remind the wearer of his obligation to have regard to the law of the Lord, but in the hands of the Pharisee it became more than a symbol and was regarded as possessing something like a sacramental virtue. So, Jesus, a bunch of people touched Jesus' hem of his garment. I used to think it was just that one lady, and you read the Gospel, it's all over the place. Whole regions kind of getting healed, so that's good. And then it's got aids to Bible study, the Holy Land, and then an extremely extensive concordance. Let's see how many pages. So the Bible itself is 933 pages. The study helps is 40 pages, Jewish calendar. And then the concordance, let's see how big this concordance is 1064, 21. It's 85 pages, if my math is right. Small print, but you can look at it there. So this is the Newberry Reference Edition. Show you the maps, some cool looking maps. Maps I don't see every day. A lot of maps are generic and stock. You see those all over the place. So let's take a look at these maps. I just want to look up a word like baptism and see what it's got here. Bedelium, baptism. I mispronounce so many words. So many of you people make fun of me announcing Baptist. They're like, it's Baptist, not Baptist. And I'm just like, well, I can't see. Even when just saying that, I'm like, who cares? I have no clue what the difference is in that. I'm sorry, I'm not that much of a perfectionist. But anyhow, poor Sister Waldron. I was reading something. It said to eat sweet potatoes, purple potatoes, and then it looked like jicama fruit. Jicama. Jicama. And I said, what's jicama? She said, I've never heard of that. I showed it. She's laughed. She said, that's jicama. Well, I've never heard of jicama. Let's ask now. Sister Fran's not on camera, but she's filming. Sister Fran, have you heard of jicama fruit before? She has not either. So see, Sister Waldron. But we were at a Hispanic restaurant, and we showed it to him. He's like, oh, that's jicama. So he knew what it was, but I had not a clue, nary a clue. So my poor mispronouncing. Jesus is good. I do it while I preach. I get so excited preaching, I jumble the words together. It's bad. I still love God, though. Hallelujah. Be like Cicero and eat rocks and all of this. Okay, so at the back of this, the appendices, so this has 198 different articles. And so I, years ago, started reading all these articles. So the structure of the books, the Old Testament according to the Hebrew canon, Genesis, the foundation of divine revelation. Genesis finds the complement in the Apocalypse. That's true. Haley's really did that. The divine names and titles, creation versus evolution, figures of speech. That's one of his famous books, is Figures of Speech in the Bible, if I remember correctly. Italic type in the Revised Version. The so-called creation tablets, the usage of the word ruach, the spiritual significance of numbers. See, he's big in that. And I'm sure there's Ed Vallo's got a good book on that, among others. The stars also, the use of the word day in Genesis 1, the usage of the word nephesh, soul, synonymous words for man, the occurrences of neshuma, breath, the genitive case, in the day, the serpent, the posterity of Cain, offerings, cherubim, decalogue. So just pages of this. And so here's what it's going to look like in the back. So let's see what print size this is. I'm constantly surprised how expensive the companion Bible is when I see them usually on eBay. I don't think it's out of print. Maybe. I need to do a Rice Reference Bible review sometime. There's just so many. We've got several thousands of subjects we're trying to teach on besides reviews, many thousands of books. But so it looks like it's about 8.5 point print in the notes in the back. It's the Bible part itself looks to be 1,914 pages long, and then 200 and the spirits in prison. See, that's a good subject. I've done a video or something on that. 217 index, so 218. So 218 pages in the back, and then a few more. I've got notes for my cell phone back here. 227 total. So let's see. I threw my back out last week. This is not good. Sister Waldron came in just in time to pick up these Bibles to set them on the table for me. So it looks like 8.5 point print. The notes look like, yikes. Well, they look exactly like 7 point print. And let's see what it is in the Newberry. This Newberry's very well constructed. Most study Bibles, they'll have something in the front where it teaches you how to use them, but you can usually figure it out pretty easily. But I do learn a lot reading the stuff in the front. So it's like 8-point print, and then the side references are very small. Like smaller than 6-point print. So let's just measure these. Newberry is phenomenal size. It's 9.375, 6 1/4 by 1 3/4. And this one's been used a lot, so the pages are kind of buffed out. 9.6, 6.4, and right at 2 inches. So the Companion Study Bible and the Newberry Reference Bible by Kriegel. Again, I consider these indie Bibles just because they're off the beaten path. They're not Bibles that are getting published by Oxford and Tyndale and Nelson and all this. Kriegel. Now, Brother Ernest Jolly, he used to have a key pastored over near Birmingham, Alabama, or in Birmingham, and he knew all those guys, the Bakers, the Kriegels. You wonder where they got their name. There's people named that. And he would spend the night in there, and then he would just hand them books. He'd say, you need to reprint this, 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 and this. And that's the reason Kriegel has like the Andrew Jukes books and the Soltau books on the tabernacle and on the garments and on the feast and just phenomenal stuff. Because Ernest Jolly, this one God preacher, would recommend all that. So anyhow, the Companion Study Bible, the Newberry Reference Bible. I hope this helped something. Maybe you see them all the time or heard of them, and just give you a little more understanding of what they are. So God bless. Talk with you later in Jesus' name.